Hello, good morning, or should I say good afternoon. Welcome to New Forest Morphs. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful time to be able to share some snake candy with you. Jared and I have just done our morning clean, and we've got a couple of snakes that have come out of shed, which we wanted to show you. And the first one is this beautiful Enchi leopard. I think this one,
yellow belly.
orange stream and yellow belly.
Het clown.
Yeah, and it's het for clown. Anything else going in there, Jared? Was that mainly the main genetics?
That's what we've ID'd so far.
So if we have a little look at him, he's looks beautiful, and you can see they're getting chunky now. Is that a boy or girl, Jared?
It's a boy.
That's a boy.
No, it's a girl.
No, it's a girl. So this is something we're going to keep for our future projects. And when she gets big enough, Jared, what would you consider putting to her to get the orange dream, yellow belly into the Enchi going into the clown project?
I think I'd probably put the banana leopard clown pied. Get some super leopard, Enchis, bananas, orange dream, yellow belly clowns that are het for pied.
Yeah. And we were talking about this today because the video on Tuesday, Jared, we were talking about the cost of importing from the US and the fact that I was facing another $5,000 to pay on top of the $10,000. It made me reevaluate what we're actually doing, because I think we wanted to bring in some girls for your banana leopard Bingo, and he is a clown pied boy. And what we've realised is he's still only just getting established, and we can't overstretch him. Therefore, I was going to bring in 2 or 3 clown pied girls that are carrying Enchi and some other genetics, which are quite well advanced, and they're a year into their development. So that would have been a fantastic project had the shipping costs not been so heavy. And so we're now reevaluating what we're doing, and we're thinking to ourselves, you know, if we were to use Bingo, we'd want to use him on girls that are starting to get established. Now, we did look at yesterday, we looked at your girl Calypso, who is a pastel clown, 100% het for pied. She took that large rat, so we're thinking to ourselves, we can recondition her, and that would be a suitable girl for him to go to. The reality is he'd probably only go to 2 or possibly 3 girls. So there's me thinking to myself, why don't we invest in these extra US imports? But the reality is that it's going to be another year or 2, and we were talking about prices dropping each year. And I think when you're factoring your projects, you want to be shooting for, depending on what level you're at, but I say if you've been in the industry for a few years, you want to be aiming for something that's probably a target of £3,000 to £5,000 snakes, because by the time you get there, if it takes 2 to 3 years, those £3,000 to £5,000 snakes are going to be worth probably two grand, which is still good money. But the reality is that sometimes we shoot for a £2,000 snake. By the time we get there, they've dropped down to 500, and it's a lot of work for a £500 snake. So I think when you're planning ahead and you're deciding on what to pair, in fact, we had a lovely guy called Ian that is thinking about expanding his breeding collection, and he contacted me this week and asked, how do I go about selecting pairs and buying animals, and particularly new breeders coming in? There's so many genetics and varieties, you know, so easy to get lost, Jared, isn't it? And my advice was, go for something that you have a passion for, so that when you open up and clean the tubs, you're getting excited looking at them. So I think it's very important to have a passion for the project, because you won't have what I call staying power unless you really look forward to cleaning that snake, because you're going to spend time looking at it as well. So I think the snake candy aspect, although we joke about it, is a very important factor. I think the other considerations, Jared, what would you consider when you're thinking about buying or going into some projects? What would you consider if you were to start it all over again, learning from your mistakes?
If I was to redo it?
Yeah, what would you go for, and how would you go about it?
Well, I'd start off by doing a lot of research on ball pythons, what they need, so I can get their enclosures perfect.
Yeah.
Then I would look at a few different morphs, find the ones I love the most, and I'd buy a good group of females that I could grow up. Whether that was hatchlings or whether that was fully grown, ready to go adults, I'd buy the females first. And then when they were getting up to size, I'd then decide to buy a few powerhouse males to put them to. And I'd start off like that.
Okay. It makes sense, because the girls do take a little bit longer. In this current climate, Jared, there's a lot of new breeders that are starting. Yeah, sorry, I was going to show you this girl. One of Jared's favourites, and she is doing so well. Just look how. This is a hatchling from this year, which is a spot nose
Vanilla.
Hopefully vanilla, pastel for sure, clown for sure, and she is Hetford. She Hetford, I think.
No, we got her down as a pastel, spot nose, post vanilla clown.
Yeah. So I think this was part of the Batman project. I don't think we hit a Batman. I don't think there's
leopard
in there. It's always very, very difficult. But we don't think there's leopard. Could there be Enchi in there?
No.
No.
There was no Enchi in the clutch.
No. The father was actually an Enchi clown though.
Which one?
Because we put Hercules to her.
Oh, was it?
So is there Enchi in that?
I don't think so.
No.
It'd be a lot less pattern,
a lot more banded, and we don't think there's leopard. So we've got the makings.
The head pattern as well. It's not really
no, and also there's no leopard look on the head pattern. So I think your original idea was right. Let's just wear Jared and see what she's doing. I'm hoping that she's over the 200 mark now.
Go for it.
We've ordered some new scales, and they're on their way. The Viper bedding is coming today, and we'll do a proper product review when that comes.
246.
246. So these girls are doing beautifully well, and it's just lovely to have them out. But just coming back to this decision on what you pair, what you buy, this market is a fantastic opportunity to get into breeding. I mean, when I see what's out there and the price of what's out there and what you're getting, the genetic power, there has never been a better time to get into some breeding snakes for people that might be initially launching on a tight budget. There are breeders that are recycling their animals out. So although traditionally we would say get your females first and grow them on, you can now buy, as we did yesterday, bought a snake that's ready to go within about 6 months. So there's a lot of breeders getting out of the hobby because I think they've given it a shot and maybe it hasn't necessarily been what they want to do, and therefore they've already invested in the genetics, they've already looked after them, and therefore you can pick up a lot of double hets, a lot of single hets, a lot of visuals for reasonably good money. So you could get straight into production within your first season if you choose to. That's helpful, Jared, because we talked about price differentials, and as prices drop down, the problem we have is that by the time they come to breed, your clutch, which was projected clutch size, let's say it was a £5,000 clutch, could end up being a £1,000 clutch. There's a lot of work for a £1,000 clutch. And so a lot of breeders just don't touch anything. I think if you look at Billy at Mutation Creation, he was saying in his advice is to aim to produce $1,000 snakes or $2,000 snakes, because by the time you get there they might be worth $1,000 or $500. So that makes sense to me. So I think investing in a stud boy that you can put to the girls is key. So you could pick up ready to go girls